We can be heroes everywhere we go. We can have all that we ever want. Singing like Ali, rocking our bodies, standing on top like a champion. Keep it on silver, give me that gold. You'll remember when I say we can be heroes everywhere we go. Keeping us down is impossible. We're unstoppable. Oh, we're unstoppable. Oh, we're unstoppable.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon po, sir. Welcome
Hi.
po.
Pero,
Good afternoon
Hi,
din
Angelica.
po.
afternoon. You can hear me naman, no? Alright.
Yes, sir.
Good. Yun na yung tech testing ko.
Afternoon po.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, sino?
Good afternoon, everyone. May I request you all to please settle down and be relaxed as we are about to start our Robotics and Automation webinar at exactly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A few reminders. We are requesting the participants to please do open up your cameras to serve as your participation for today. Also take note of the following. Be aware of your surroundings. Mute your microphone when you are not speaking and speak up when necessary. Thank you.
Good afternoon. To officially start the program, let us first put ourselves in the most holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Under your grace, your mercy amazes me. Under your wings, your shadow covers me. A promise of love where my heart is safely undone. Speak to me, Lord, your servant is listening. Over the noise, I hear you whispering, my hope has come, and my heart is safely undone. I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored with you. My resting place is in your name, forever safe. Speak to me, Lord, your servant is listening. Over the noise, I hear you whispering, my hope has come, and my heart is safely undone. Oh, I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored with you. My resting place is in your name. I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored with you. My resting place is in your name, forever safe, forever safe, forever safe, forever safe. You are never far away, always reaching out to save my weakness, covered by your strength, and I am found forever safe. You are never far away, always reaching out to save my weakness, covered by your strength, and I am found forever safe. I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored with you. My resting place is in your name, forever safe. And my soul is anchored with you. My resting place is in your name. I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored
According to Daniel H. Wilson, there are an endless number of things to discover about robotics. A lot of it is just too fantastic for people to believe. And I believe those fantastic things about robotics will be learned today, leading with innovation, a futuristic perspective with robotics and automation. Good afternoon, everyone, and to all the viewers from our Facebook pages, and to the participants who are in the Zoom, a pleasant good afternoon to all of you. I am pretty sure that everyone is very excited about the insightful and informative webinar that we will be having this afternoon. But before we start, let me introduce myself. I am Rose Jane E. Matampale.
And I am John Lloyd, your host for this afternoon. But before we start, to all our active participants today in the Zoom, please type in the chat box your school and where you come from. If you are already working, please type in the chat box your location or where you come from and the organization you are affiliated. And we will read some of these comments. Please.
Okay, we have here Jason.
We have here from Manuel S. Enverga University Foundation, Lucena City, pamantasan ng lungsod ng Valenzuela. Valenzuela. Okay? University Foundation, Lucena City, University of the East, Manila, Negros Oriental State University, Mabinay, Romblon State University, Kajidiokan Campus. Pamantasan, parang ang dami ng pamantasan ng lungsod ng Valenzuela ngayon Ano pa yung mga location?
Yes,
Laguna
very
College, Iris Cavite Campus, Technological University of the Philippines, Cavite. Ano to? Anong school to? DHVSU. Mindoro State
We have
University.
here Shane Iris M. Pumoso, University of Baguio.
Oh, wow. I can see some in the chat box, different schools and places all over the country. And because of that, I think everyone is ready to listen. Are you ready? Yes, parang hindi
Yes
naman
po.
ready. Yung response niyo mahihina. Are you ready?
Yes po, we
Yes.
Ready na
are.
ba kayo?
Yes.
Parang di pa man.
Para Okay. Rose Jane, for our opening remarks, Rose Jane. Now, to officially start this webinar,
Yes, I think
May I
partner, they are ready to officially start this webinar. May I call
may I call Miss Shaina Santiago, one of our staff in Human Resource Development Employee Development Office, to give the opening remarks. Miss Shine.
Good afternoon to our distinguished guests, to my co-interns, to our country manager, Mr. TJ Yuson, and of course to our resource speaker, Mr. Sherwin Yap. Welcome to our webinar. We all understand the importance of science, technology, and innovation when it comes to our daily lives and our ways of living. However, this pandemic pushed us to our limits. Our lifestyle suddenly changed, and majority of our tasks that were originally done outside of our home became virtual. Not just employees and students, but business owners got affected as well. Many of the businesses were forced to close due to the sudden lockdowns and restrictions brought by the pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have a clear view of our state right now, which is why today we will talk about how we should lead with the help of robotics and innovation, especially during the pandemic. Again, to our distinguished participants, my co-interns, Sir TJ, and to Mr. Sherwin Yap, may I welcome you all to our webinar entitled Leading with Innovation, a Futuristic Perspective with robotics and automation. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Shaina Micaela Santiago, for your opening remarks. I am sure that it adds to the excitement for the participants today. Now we will now proceed to the introduction of the guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. A remarkable innovator, entrepreneur, and executive. His passion in creating robots and technological devices inspired many to take up engineering, robotics, and product development. His creativity was featured in local and international shows like ABS-CBN, GMA, GMA Regional TV, and the international tech show PICAST. You can find articles about his journey in the Philippine Daily Mirror and Filipinas Shell Foundation, which regards him as the Philippines' up and coming Elon Musk. He was also featured in the international publication Global IP Trust, where they write about people that are truly ahead of their times. He is the founder of Kaizen Robotics, a robotics development and academic partnership company. Their innovative method of learning robotics through rapid prototyping is now being used to educate thousands of students through their Train the Trainer program. As an energy company executive, he received three global awards for innovation. Among his notable leadership achievements was leading the Philippine Fuels Logistics team to rise from the bottom of the global rankings now to becoming the world's number one for 2 straight years. He is a robotics engineering master's in engineering management graduate from the LaSalle University. He regards himself as a typical Pinoy that enjoys spreading good vibes on social media. His hobbies include basketball, wakeboarding, and obstacle course races. He also enjoys playing golf and was the 2017 Golfer of the Year of his golf club. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Sherwin Yap. Let's give him a round of virtual applause. Good afternoon, Sir Yap.
Hey, good
The virtual
afternoon.
okay, sir. The virtual stage is yours, and we will be right back after your discussion. We are excited to learn from you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kapkun Kap, John Lloyd, daghang salamat sa imong gwapo kayo ng introduction sa ako. Salamat tatang everyone. Mi nombre es Sherwin. Titsun gobe kagi itong gobe kay sila. Gua ya wahan kausing check on iman. Meron gang body binet. Mag-umpisa na tayo. If you're still confused at what I was doing, what I was trying to do was speak to you in a bunch of different languages and dialects. I learned some of them because I thought it was fun for me to be able to communicate with the people that I engage with on a day-to-day basis in work, when I go to restaurants. So I thought it was really fun for me to be able to relate to people, so talk to them in their dialect. So, but did you know that compared to learning a new dialect, it's so much easier to learn the language of computers and robots. So good afternoon, I am Sherwin Yap. So today I'd like to share a how a 40-something executive like me was able to learn and how to create robots and techie stuff, then eventually built a business around it, and then which brought me to find my purpose in life. So as you follow my story, I would be able to share where I think the world would be heading or where the world will end up and what I think are the top industries of the near future. Okay, so just to check if you can see my slides already, you can see the power of fun.
Yes, sir.
Hi, thank you very much. Okay, so I what do you say? So the title of this talk, well, we really wanted to make it very technical. I'd rather to make it. I'd rather make it a lot of fun that baka mabore yung surprise na 100 pala yung participants natin. So I'm very happy to be able to engage with you guys. I saw a lot of schools from different parts of the Philippines, including my alma mater. I saw one from the LSU as well. So yeah, if you ask me, nung before the pandemic, who I was. So I would tell you that I'm a 40-something-year-old guy who's an executive, who is on a leadership position in a multinational oil and gas company. So this is me engaging or having pictures with the staff that I was managing before, quite a lot. So this is what they call my day job, and then so I was doing this all the time and didn't have time for the things that I really wanted to do. The things I really wanted to do. So during the pandemic, I decided, because I had so much time in my hand, because as I said earlier, I keep traveling. When I do my work, I always travel. I rarely have time to be at home. But now during the pandemic, we can't go out, right? So I had so much time in my hand. So even on a daily basis, you have spare 4 hours to do stuff. So what I wanted to do was to really learn something new. And then what I really wanted to do was, while learning, I have to have fun while learning a new skill. So what I like to do, even when I was younger, is really to make up things, invent things. When I was younger, I would open up my toys and to see how things work. Tapos maybe pick up yung mga motors nun, and then eventually hindi ko na mabalik, sira na yun. So, buti hindi ako pinapagalitan ng parents ko, which is a good thing. If your parents here, don't school your kids for being curious, okay? So yeah, if you will look at yung fun thing that I've done ilang years ago, 10 years ago siguro to, if you on the left, di pa uso masyado yung GoPro nun. On the left, we will see parang may stick, no? But this one, nilagyan ko lang ng helmet ko ng parang yung sa chairs, yung nagro-rotate dun sa chairs. So you'd be able to make a camera that goes 360 around you. Wala pa yan dati yung 360 camera, but it will go around you. So it would look like yung parang sa Matrix, if you've seen the movie Matrix. Ang ganda nung effect niya. But of course, may helmet kang suot. But of course, I only use things, kasi kuripot ako, I only use things that are available sa paligid ko, like junks, no? So kumuha ako ng PVC pipe. If you will see, ako na-notice na yung counterweight niyan, chinelas or sandal lang yan. So tinali ko lang kasi wala akong mahanap na weights, no? Wala akong makabili na weights. So, and I also made yung on the lower right, you will see parang hologram. Kaya gawin nung kahit sino to kung meron kayong spare na how do you say, yung cover ng notebook or ng books na cover, so you can already make that. No, actually yung sa face shield, ano ba tawag doon? Yung plastic na sa face shield. So anyway, that's what I like to do. But nung pandemic, like most of us, we like watching Netflix, right? So I like watching sci-fi movies. During the time, nasasayangan ako habang nanonood ako ng movies like these, no? Si Pacific Rim, yung mga ganyan. Sayang ako sa oras ko, and I was thinking, baka pwedeng do something meaningful. So, nanonood ako, and then I realized, wait, why don't I try to make these things a reality? Yun yung gawin natin totoo itong mga to. Kasi parang kaya naman based on mga nababasa ko before, mahilig kasi ako sa tech talaga. So, mukhang kaya naman. So, I set out to be able to make these things, especially itong nasa pinaka-kanan, X-Men, Days of Future Past. If you know, si Professor X, sorry, baka hindi nyo, can you type 1 if you guys know Professor X? Kung hindi, you just type 0. Let me just check kung kilala natin yung Professor X. Anong skill ni Professor X? Kita ko ba yung chat? So, Okay. Halos lahat pala clear na si Professor X. So ano yung power ni Professor X? Sige nga. Anytime.
Mind reading.
Walang may alam. Alam niyo siguro. Mind reading, But, yun, telekinesis. So si Professor X, ang pinakagusto ko sa kanya is to be able to use his mind to be able to control things. So I set out to say, okay, pwede bang gawin ko nun? Meron akong nakitang parang sensor sa utak to be able to do that. So medyo diba? Medyo high-tech. For somebody who's an executive, like, I don't know, yung hindi naman really sanay dito for over decades na wala naman akong kinalaman sa science talaga. But set out to do that. But to be able to do that, I taught myself how to do things slowly and make it fun for me. So I started out with just this one. So I got a microcomputer, and then aralin ko, I'll write a program that will be able to control these three lights. Green, yellow, red, papunta. Parang traffic light lang. So So it's simple. You can start off with simple. Little did I know, knowing this skill, itong pag-ilaw na to, is all I need to be able to make all the things that I wanted to make. So I'll be showing you a lot of videos now for us to enjoy naman. And promise, sobrang konti yung words na makikita nyo dito sa presentation natin. So yeah, you always start with just blinking of lights when you make robots. And then afterwards, as I said, kuripot nga ako, diba? I didn't want to spend on anything pa masyado. Like you can buy a robot for 25,000, 50,000. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I got a microcomputer, which is yung utak ng robot, and you'll be able to do these things. So this is what I call the Pringles bot. Narinig niyo yung volume konti? Yes. Yes. You can hear the audio?
Yes.
Right. So this is made out of empty cans. Mahilig kasi ako dito sa Schweppes soda water. Tapos Pringles, mahilig din ako dyan. So kasi ako itapon, sabi ko mukhang pwedeng gawing robot to. Lagyan mo lang ng motors, just put the motors, and then pwede mo nang paggalawin at pwede nang pasayawin. So I started out with this lang muna. And then it proved to be very satisfying for me. It was so much fun that I think people should start learning robotics. And then moving forward, so after Pringles, I kept on day by day kasi sobrang dami nating oras. I kept on learning, and then I was eventually able to learn how to do a 3D print. So I got myself a 3D printer, learned how to manipulate it and create things. So I was able to eventually from Pringles, but I was able to make TikTok bot. Because this one is actually shown in GMA as well. TikTok robots. Let me just share with you how it looks.
Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like
Oops, sorry.
pro. Do that. Stop, drop,
Hindi
and
ko marunong
roll.
sumayaw, but
Do that.
meron
Do
pa.
it like
And it
pro.
also helped me with their frustration. Wanted to do the nini. Kaya Who's the robot naman?
Stop, pro.
Okay, so after being able to do that, siguro, I wanted to make things bigger. Just kept learning. Extend. I don't know what this is called, but this one is using hydraulics naman. Retract. And then you'd be able to right punch. Sa kamay mo and meron. This is voice activated. Naral ko rin using AI. Push up. So it's all about fun for me. I keep doing things, and if you remember, I showed you earlier dun sa picture si Pacific Rim robot. So I call this the Pacific Rim robot. It follows yung parang yung iba may pilot tapos sinusunod niya yung movements ng robot. Although limited yung budget natin, so we only use this small robot. So I find it so cool. I don't know. Siguro yung iba will think I'm a geek and all these things, but well, I find it really cool to be able to do these things. So that's why I keep doing them. I keep learning. And then eventually, this is just the start of the ano siguro, what you call the real steel. This one is a robot hand that I printed, 3D printed, and then it follows you. Wow, thank you. Thank you pala sa mga nagko-comment. I can read your comments. Really appreciate yung mga inputs nyo. Yeah, so this one is it's very cool in my view. Really, I always wanted to do that. Paano ba nagagawa ng Japan yung mga ganun na stuff? Actually, sa Japan na nakita ko, or meron pang may mga gadgets pa na hawak sa kamay. This one is really just taking videos of your hand and then yung hand nata-translate into doing all these. And lahat to nagawa ko lang dito lang sa bucket sa kwarto ko. It's a very small room. Next is this video is called the human puppet. Now kanina alam na natin paano mag-control ng machine, di ba? What about controlling people? Maraming may gusto niyan. Lalo na yung mga misis na gustong controlling daw yung mga asawa para maglaba, Hi Malakay, so this is the human puppet experiment. Lang yan. My lovely assistant. Magalaw yan.
Why are you laughing, sir?
Ikaw don't really know what happening. So sa rest pa lang yan. In expanded all over your body. But medyo
It's the response. It's the response.
it works the that I do is always about learning. So I learned how to control naman yung human, di ba? So these things are fun, but of course, hindi araw-araw Pasko kung baga sabi nila. So before being able to do that, I had so much fun as well failing. So ang dami naming failures. So for example, itong yung kanina human puppet experiment, but ito is the early stages pa ng human puppet experiment.
I don't want that. You already showed it.
So I always laugh at I always laugh when I see this, So yung lovely assistant is actually my wife. Unfortunately, even after failed experiments like these, she's still my wife. So yeah. So it's not always very easy, but it's okay to fail. But the good thing about having fun learning is that it's okay to fail. Hindi ka, kunwari, babagsak ka sa exam mo, tapos ulitin mo yung class hindi mo na gusto. I can fail over 55, 100 times, okay lang sa akin. Basta I continue to learn. If you guys have seen yung show ni Startup called, it's called Startup, Korean novela show. They did something similar. If you will see, I'll just show you. This one is like sensors lang. And also, are they telling me what this is? Camera.
This looks like a coffee mug.
Coffee mug.
This looks like a coffee mug.
This one.
This looks like a toilet tissue.
You can also sense that somebody's behind you. So the idea is that the blind person will be able to sense So basically, medyo mahaba pala to. Basically, parang gusto ko gawing Daredevil yung isang tao. You know, Daredevil bulag siya, but he'll be able to sense everyone around him or everything around him through vibration. No? Parang bat signal. Ay yung sa ultrasonic sound na pinapato ng bat. Diba? Bat kasi sa gabi nakaka-travel sila. They use sound waves. So yun yung nangyayari dito. And then magva-vibrate siya. Tapos magva-vibrate siya ng stronger pag mas malapit yung tao na lumalapit sa kanya. And then the other one is like, hindi naman siya nakakabasa, hindi niya nakikita kung anong objects. May camera to be able to tell that blind person kung ano yung nakikita ng camera. Next, eventually, yung gusto ko talagang gawin was the brain control thing. So I will just show you a couple of projects that I'm using the brain control thing. So this one is brain controlled robot hand. Again, focus on it. And then if it looks focused, it will open. Again, focus. And then lose focus. So next is the ito yung gusto ko, Professor X na mind control wheelchair. Si Professor X mind control wheelchair. So to be able to do this, it came from the start, no, which is learning how to make a small light switch on and off, or pwede mo siya i-dim or hindi. That's the bottom line. So from there, you'd be able to parang mabilis na lang to be able to learn to yung wheelchair na to is second hand na tatapon na wheelchair. I bought it sa marketplace. Tapos bumili ako nitong brain control or brain sensor thing from the US. Pero you know what's interesting about this mind control, mind reader thing? Nakalimutan ko ng tawag. Emotive insight ang tawag pala dyan. Is that, well, in order ko siya sa States, kala ko 1 month lang darating sa akin. Dumating sa akin in 2 months. Alam mo, the funny thing about it is that apparently galing siyang Cavite. So mayroon tayong manufacturing plant sa Cavite na gumagawa nito. Pinadala sa States, tapos sa States binabalik sa akin dito sa Manila. At I know I would have just asked na diretso na dito sa di na darating sa States yung pupunta sa States. So what's interesting is that galing pa lang Pinas to mga high-tech stuff na to. Yeah. Again, I would like to quote, ito lang promise yung pinakamaraming words na meron dito sa slide na to. So I just read through yung message ni Maya Angelou, or a quote from Maya Angelou, a poet. She said, "You can only become truly accomplished at something you love. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing and do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you." So I really was doing it so well, mainly because I keep having fun doing it. So learning by having fun is really important for you to develop your skills. At dahil dun, people can't take their eyes off of you. So you post it sa social media, it looks cool, looks sound. So eventually na-discover ako. Pero ang nauna naka-discover sa akin is pretty funny. It's Mark Logan sa ABS-CBN. Panoorin niyo na lang.
Hindi lang basta patok ang... May naimbento namang face shield na ganito kapag nakasalubong mo ang iyong inaanak sa mall. Ayun, di ba? Tinted na ang face shield. Hindi ka na makikilala. Hindi lang...
Okay, so it is a parang face shield na nagbabago. So na nagko-cover ng tao pag nakikita ko yung inaanak. So fitting para sa Christmas. This was, I think, before Christmas last year. Okay, so Because of the things that I was doing, I shared it with people, and then people really enjoyed it. People are people from all over the world start asking me things, um, asking for interviews, maybe asking for tips on how to what course to take, how to do this and that, technical, all the way for starting with sorry, let's just I'll just move on to the next slide na lang. My next point is really to just say yes to everything to be able to be successful in what you do. Just say yes. This is not applicable to drugs, you know. Drugs, just say no, but to everything else, maybe just in life, you know. Especially when you think it's fun and it's related to what you want, just say yes. Even though, alam mo, mahirap, you know. Ako, ayaw kong magsalita ng events like this. Takot na takot ako, but I just say yes, no? I just change my mindset about it. And eventually, sa sobrang dami nung nagtatanong sa akin, just keep saying yes. I only realized last month siguro is that how much I would say how many uh articles have been written and how many interviews I've done na. So you can see here it's a GMA. I was interviewed there. Philippine Daily Mirror wrote about this, wrote what I do. And then Global IP Trust is a parang global publication that writes about, sabi nila, people that are truly ahead of their times. So they write about me, tapos meron pang yung nag-invento kay Siri, si Elon Musk, they write about those people, so they give interviews to each other. I also was featured like no October lang, bago lang, I was mentoring this group of bright students doing Team Agribon. Team Agribon is yung gumagawa ng drones to be able to target specific agricultural works. Like mag-spray lang sila ng pesticides or no, chemicals to certain areas of the field. No, they don't have to spray all over the field. Kasi ang typical na ginagawa is that ni-sprayhan lahat in the hopes na yung target na kailangan isprayhan malagyan. Because syempre hindi kaya ng mga tao. So this one is targeted na lang yung pupuntahan niya using vision systems na artificial intelligence and drones. Okay? So meron din mga people like si Avram is the chief editor ng a tech show to, no? Globally. So let me just play it a bit.
February 23rd. Our special guest is actually is actually on the 24th. He's living in the future, which is very appropriate considering the futuristic project he's going to be showing us shortly. As always, I'm Avram Pelcher, editor-in-chief of Tom's Hardware, and I'm joined by Associate Editor Les Pounder and Raspberry Pi expert Ash Puckett. And today we have a very special guest, Sherwin Yap, from who is dialing in all the way from the Philippines to share with us a really incredible robot project.
And so medyo these are the times that I feel very proud as a Filipino to be able to represent. I was the first Filipino invited to that. Yung mga previous na invite nila are yung founders na Raspberry Pi, which is at that time my favorite na microcomputer. Nakakatawa. May gusto pa lang bumili ng face shield. Hindi pa siya for sale. Pero mukhang tatanggalin nata yung face shield requirements, so baka hindi mo na kailangan yan. May nakita ko dito sa chat. So eventually, dahil sa daming I met a lot of people, mga robotics enthusiasts sa Philippines, passionately about robotics all over the world. People start asking me for things to do, asking me to guide them on things, coach them, etc. And then they want to pay me. So I was thinking, okay, I probably should make a company para doon na lang ipasok yung pera na nade-develop. So we end up having this company called Kaizen Robotics. yun, basically what we're doing is yung mga crazy ideas ng mga tao or inventors, we work to make it possible. No? So, ano ba, like yung mga brain-controlled robot hand, brain-controlled support para sa mga people who are recovering from stroke, ano ba, for entertainment purposes, maybe I'll show you later. Meron din for agriculture, meron for mga for construction. So those things, we try to help them make it a reality. Because people always have bright ideas and wild ideas. You know, they need people like me and my group to be able to help them make it a reality. I named it Kaizen Robotics. If you guys are working na, no, so mga corporate, lalo na multinational companies, they do yung mga um, yung team building activities that they have mga tao na nag-host ng team building activities. One of my most favorite and memorable thing doon was the game called Kaizen. Kaizen, ang ginagawa nila is that they team up people, say 5 tao, ibibigyan kayo ng playing cards, bibigyan kayo lahat ng cards, tapos sabay-sabay kayong mag-work to be able to sort it, no? Parang yung sa solitaire. So, hindi pala solitaire. Basta i-sort mo like lahat ng hearts, king, queen, ganun hanggang ace. Dapat ganun yung gagawin ninyo. I-sort nyo. Pabilisan yan. So binigyan niya kami ng chance to do it. So, no, nag-usap muna kami, strategize kami paano gawin. So, ginawa namin. So, it took us 2 minutes to be able to do that. We were very proud of ourselves. 2 minutes, we were able to do that. And then, dun yung sinabi na, okay, the spirit of Kaizen is, ibig sabihin ng Kaizen is continuous improvement. Or sa Japanese, it's actually change for the change tsaka good, two words yan. But it's continuous improvement yung gusto yung sabihin dyan. So, sabi niya, gawin niyo ulit, mag-strategize ulit kayo. Lo and behold, second try namin, 1 minute na lang. From 2 minutes down to 1 minute, nagulat kami na, kaya pala namin yun, 1 minute. Iba lang strategy na ginawa namin. And then, sabi niya, ulitin niyo ulit. You probably could do better. And then we got down to 30 seconds and eventually we got down to just 12 seconds. Gugulat ka from 2 minutes, you'd be able to cut it down to 12 seconds. Basically, ang tinuturo dito is that everything can be improved. So I want to be reminded sa sarili ko, making this company, na everything can be improved. Slowly, eventually you would be able to really improve it. So, yeah. Last point ko lang is like this one. Let your purpose guide you. So after being able to do all these, I have been the business is doing pretty well. A president of a prestigious university talked to me and then told me what you are doing is really inspiring others, which is true. I keep getting feedback sa pag nagpo-post ako sa TikTok or sa Facebook or sa YouTube. They really say na I really like to learn robotics. How do I start? Ganyan. So common yun, I'm very inspired to create things because of your work. Ganyan. You always see that dun sa mga comments na. So, and yun nga, natauhan lang ako when the president of a very good school talked to me and saying you can really do a lot with this one. You can really inspire others, and this is the future. Sabi niya ganyan. So we have to work to be able to future-proof kids. I don't know how. Sabi niya ganyan. Don't know how, but let's work together on how to be able to do that. So, pinapaisip ako. So after that meeting, really, I was thinking, okay, research ako. What are the top industries of the future? Ito na yung siguro yung main subject natin kanina. Well, konti lang naman din to. I'll just run you through it. So the top 8 industries of the future, based on my research, as well as what I think really, kinap ko na yung iba. Or the first 3 is artificial intelligence, robotics, and Internet of Things. Rather than bore you with ano ko explain itong mga to, I really like just to show you how things work. Remember lang, artificial intelligence, robotics, and Internet of Things. Let me introduce you to Ate Marites. Ate Marites is the Filipino version of Google Home's Google's Google Home, tapos Amazon's Alexa.
Ate Marites,
Ano po yun, sir?
buksan ang kurtina.
Okay, sige po. Okay, Google. Open the curtain.
Got it. Opening the curtain. Got it. Opening the curtain.
Okay, so si Ate Marites uses artificial intelligence to be able to understand yung Tagalog ko, kung ano sinasabi ko. And then from that, using the Internet of Things, ano na to, very visual lang na explanation. So, you're able to talk to other things through the internet. Lahat yan nakakabit sa isang wifi lang. Or this one kasi medyo ano lang, nakakatawa lang itong ginawa ko. You're able to talk to Alexa, pwede rin niya utusan si Google. But you can actually skip that and you just control a robot. Ang robot on that hand is yung curtain. Kita niyo, nag-open siya. Pusa lang. Hindi po multo ang meron sa bahay namin, but meron na kaming robots dito. Yeah. So, si Ate Marites. Actually, this was also featured sa GMA. Nakakatawa. Happy sila. And we can actually teach kids how to do that already. It's not very difficult. This one is called the dating assistant. So, if you guys know Tinder, kasi tabi lang kung nandito yung picture ninyo. So, sorry na, this is just for demonstration purposes only. Meron nag-challenge sa akin na, pare, nakatamad ng mag-swipe left, swipe right ng Tinder. Pwede bang gawa ka ng yung robot na magtutulong sa akin mag-swipe, bibigyan lang kita ng preferences mo. So, ang naisip namin na preferences were people that wear bikinis, yung makapal yung red na lipstick, tapos yung mga naka-mini skirt. So yun yung parang eventually nasa utak namin to do it. So
someone requested to see a robot using artificial intelligence to help select their preferences on Tinder, the dating app. So I made this robot that will only select women wearing thick red lipstick, bikinis, and mini skirts. Challenge accepted. Challenge completed. The future is here.
Although, hindi siya nakaka-determine kung tunay na babae or kahit ako dito, nahirapan talaga tayo. Yan kasi makapal yung red lipstick. So actual to na so it really is working naman. So that uses artificial intelligence to see yung kung ano yung pinrogram mo, no? Kunwari sinabi mong bikini, ano ba yung tsura ng naka-bikini? Uses yung intelligence ng computer, and then pag nakita niya yung same, i-click niya yung like using a robot. So artificial intelligence, yeah. May nagkwento dito, may artificial intelligence projects din daw sila Karim, turning on and off lights, tsaka dancing baby. It's good that you guys already know how to do these things. In terms of robotics, ano ba yung maganda sa robotics? This is a project that we did para sa isang advertising company sa Philippines. Gusto rin nila kasing magkaroon ng ito 360 degrees camera to. If you have a virtual reality na headset, pwede kang lumiko-liko, makita mo pa yung everywhere, no? So if you can go, dahil sa pandemic, hindi ka na pwede mag-tour ng condo. Kunwari, binibenta mo condo or tindahan or house, no? You can use this. It will just show you everything. Parang nandoon ka. You see, kahit pag nasa bahay ka lang. So you can use this. Move forward mo. Kahit nasa bahay ka lang, you'll be able to see everything. Para kang nandoon. You use robots for that. Okay, I think I have a couple more minutes na lang. for this talk. So this last thing is artificial intelligence at work, a demonstration of something na pwedeng gawin. Kunwari sa bangko ka, pwedeng makita kung may hawak ng baril. And this one is just kutsilyo. Kasi wala akong baril.
This is our personal protection robot.
Bawal po ang cellphone dito.
Okay. Isa pa. Test natin.
Bawal po ang cellphone dito.
Sa class,
Niloloko mo ba? Ay! Ow!
Ibaba mo yung kutsilyo.
Aray.
pag may hawak
Okay.
ng kutsilyo.
Sorry. Hold up.
Ibaba mo yung kutsilyo. Ibaba mo yung kutsilyo.
Okay, sorry.
Sasabi ng mga iba tao, ba't ka ba nag-sorry sa robot? So, masakit eh. A couple more industries. The top 8 industries. The last 5 will be faster e-commerce. Ano bang next? Like, ngayon, pag nag-order ka sa Lazada, nag-order ka sa Shopee, ano ba yung pwede na, di ba? Parang nakaka-order ka na. You don't really need to step out. Pero what is better sa e-commerce? Ano sa tingin niyo makaka-improve sa Lazada at saka Shopee or whatever shopping online? Can you comment? Ano pang pwedeng i-improve? Ano lumalaban? Anyway, what I think is best is baka pwedeng within 30 minutes na sa'yo na yung in-order mo para talbugan nyo talaga yung experience ng buying sa shopping mall. Diba? Sa shopping mall, makahawakan mo, maiuwi mo. Bakit? Parang mas maganda tong very fast. So, Amazon is working on being able to have anything that you order delivered to you in 30 minutes para mapalitan mo na talaga po yung mga shopping mall. So, I'm sure magagalit si SM sa atin ito. But, well, you have to go with the flow. And then other things like big data or data analytics is very good. You'll be able to work on numbers and to be able to decide kung anong pwedeng gawin sa numbers na yan. And Filipinos are very good at it. We are already starting with that, and we're already doing that for other countries. Biohacking is the thing that I was just doing earlier, how to manipulate biology to be able to do things or maybe to improve yung life ng tao. Number 7 is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, dahil na everything is online already, is going to be very big. So you're going to be very rich if you're into cybersecurity moving forward. And number 8 is renewable and alternative energy. If renewable and alternative energy is basically staying away from fossil fuels, yung mga gasolina, diesel, mainting na crudo, those are 70 to 80% of our energy or electricity sources from that. So in the year 2050, mababaliktad na yan. So ang 70 to 80% would be the alternative energies like solar. Merong maganda na gawa yung isang Filipino natin. I don't know if you know dun sa I forgot what's, I think that's cool. Nanalo siya sa ng James Dyson Award. Yung window, yung glass sa window pwedeng gawing parang solar that will be able to get energy using waste. Using mga palengke waste. Okay? Yep. So yun, and wind energy is also going to be big. So may opportunity kasi dito sa technology. If you will see here on the chart, yung iba ay pakita ko pero I just studied yung minimum wage ng Philippines sa Metro Manila is 537. Silicon Valley yung minimum wage. Same job na ginagawa. 5,200. So if you will notice, ito parang isang oras ng taga Silicon Valley is equivalent to one day's pay ng isang Pilipino. I just use these numbers because they're easily verifiable. But of course, if you're in the technical role, iba pa yung mas mataas significantly the difference. But ano ba yung opportunity? The opportunity is bakit hindi tayo maghati? No? So we'll be able to do the work that's being done ng mga to. And then we just say, oh, kalahati lang. Hati tayo sa benefits. There's so much business to be had here. We can get businesses from the world. If we only know what these Silicon Valley guys do. So, ang swerte nila is that education nila is relatively advanced or they really know the tech stuff. So, ano ba kailangan natin to be able to do this? We just need to educate our youth or everyone dito sa Philippines to be able to get that. Kasi lahat ng work na yan pwede naman gawin virtually na. Itong conference na to, it can be done virtually, di ba? Itong workshop na to. So is a lot of, say, 80% of the work ng tech companies, you can actually do it virtually na. Sanay na rin tayo mag-aral virtually right now. So why don't we get all those jobs? Filipinos are known for having how do you say, neutral na the way we speak, people really appreciate it and wala masyadong accent. Our English is pretty good, very well educated in mga Filipinos, and we have a lot of engineers coming out of universities. Yeah, let me just give you examples of people that are taking advantage of this already. So, Stephanie C has this company called Thinking Machines. If you will remember, I mentioned about big data. This is what they do. So, mga data that's coming into companies, they process it here sa Philippines using yung mga methodologies nila. But they employ quite a lot of Filipinos, and then they send back the information all over the world. Ano na naman, reports na naman kailangan nila gawin from the data. So, you can do it virtually. So, malaking business for ito. Next one is si King Alan Didi. King Alan Didi has a company called the Exped Up. They use artificial intelligence and software to be able to help yung mga peer, mga ports solve mga problems nila through artificial intelligence. Marami, may robotics sila, may artificial intelligence to make things go easily. Actually, itong tech starter na to was able to get around 200 million pesos as investment. So that really says a lot. And if you will notice, ang babata ng kinuha nila, and not only yung babata ng mga staff na meron sila, they're also mostly Filipinos. Yeah. And then it's a unicorn na tawag nila. And then next is Mark. Mark is a friend of mine, he's an inventor. He's an entrepreneur who started late na rin sa in terms of technopreneurship, but really is doing well. So Mark had this idea na yung, di ba mahirap pag kunwari nasa condo ka nakatira or sa dorm ka nakatira, pag nagpa-deliver ka ng Grab or Lazada or Shopee, magkawalaan ng mga gamit dun sa gwardiya, di ba? Kunin yung mga gamit. So what this does is parang gagamitin niya yung one-time password. So the Grab delivery or yung Lazada delivery person will just go into this storage X or smart locker tawag nila. Lalagay mo lang yung gamit mo and then isisarado mo tapos itatype mo lang yung number ng code. Ngayon magkakaroon ng one-time password, iti-text sa'yo kung ikaw yung customer. And then itatype mo lang yung one-time password mo dyan, makakukuha mo na yung gamit. So pwede mo kasing iwan na, na pag nasa online class ka pa, hindi mo mababa to get it. Pwede mo na pa-iwan dito. It's so much convenience na nagagawa. He started out with just importing from China, from other countries. So sobrang mahal and mabilis masira daw. So what he decided to do is just do it locally. And napaganda pa yung nila, yung business nila. They'd be able to help employ a lot of Filipino, say, tech people, and then able to give business to the Philippines. So proudly made in the Philippines. for Filipinos by Filipinos. Yep. Okay, so I want to so basically yung purpose ko, na-realize ko nga after talking to a lot of people, engaging people, on top of the business that I was running, is really I want to make learning robotics and technology so accessible that it will give everyone confidence to say, I can create whatever I can imagine. This is actually what I feel right now. I can create whatever I can imagine. So to be able to do that, I just parang designed a curriculum for schools to follow or people to follow actually. So parang yung sinabi ko na start with just LED lights to all these things na controlling motors. So it's a combination of rapid prototyping and open source. Dahil nga kuripot ako, it's really supposed to be like this and how you learn technology and how you'd be able to make stuff. Ang rapid prototyping and open source, para mabilis na lang, I can just explain it as parang mabilis at saka libre. Mabilis na, libre pa. Sino bang ayaw nun? At saka nakalimutan ko, mura pala. Most of the robotics kits that you can find in the market is like 40,000, 50,000, 100,000, even 200,000 pesos. Paano ka makaka-afford nun? Ang ginagawa ng ibang schools, share sila lahat. Say 20 sila sa isang kit, di ba? What I want is for every Filipino kid to have one. So, pwedeng, if I will show you yung nasa taas ito, all you need to do are the brains of the robots. So, on the leftmost is called the M5 stock. It's around 3,000 pesos isa. If you can have one, you can use it all over and over again. Sa lahat ng projects ko, most of it I use paulit-ulit lang, tatanggalin mo balik. So, for you to learn stuff, So this one, 3,000 pesos. Arduino is just, original one would be 1,000 pesos stuff. Itong Raspberry Pi, because medyo heavy siya, it's parang, ito yung computer na ginagamit for you to be able to talk to the robot. No? So it's around 5,000 pesos. But on the rightmost is something that I'm very excited about. It's called the ESP32. It's an IoT or Internet of Things thing. It can do all the things na ginagawa ng mga to. And it only costs you 250 pesos. ESP32. 250 pesos, biro mo yun. You can actually, if meron lang akong sponsor na guy, would you able to really share it with the public schools natin, even kahit anong schools, you should have one each. And then from there, kasi bibili ka na lang ng mga LEDs na yan, yung mga lights and the motors, be able to control a lot of things and make the robots. Most of the robots na ginagawa ko ngayon are just this 250 pesos ESP. And then also, sikat na pala, yung rapid prototyping, you want to be able to create a prototype, you just have to learn 3D printing. Mura na rin lang yung 3D printing. Almost pareho na lang siya sa cost ng siguro printer. Siguro 3 times the cost of the printer. But still, it's still very good to be able to learn how to do 3D printing, guys. Ayun, so with rapid prototyping kasi, you get so much fun with yung parang being able to do kagad something. No? Nakikita ko kasi sa ibang mga schools, when I interview them, they show me, ang ganda ng project nitong mga mga students namin. Pinakita sa akin yung libro. Ang ganda ng project. Ganito kakapal yung libro na ginawa nila sa thesis nila. But sabi ko, anong itsura ng prototype nila? Patingin. Sasabihin nila sa'yo, hindi ko nang mabot sa prototyping kasi kulang na. Ang gusto ko sana, and how we educate people, is pagawa mo muna ng prototype, let them learn how to make this prototype. Ang saya, di ba? Gagawin na nila kaagad, and then saka na lang nila susulatin kung ano yung natutunan nila. That's, I think, how we should learn. It's for fun. I'll just show you one example. No? So I just saw a dog. May nag-challenge sa akin na robot dog. I don't know if it's spotted. And I decided to skip. Pwede akong gumawa niyan siguro using duct tape and motors. So, ginawa ko duct tape lang to and then mga motors. And you'll be able to see, you'll be amazed at how fun it is. Kasi mahilig din ako sa aso. Aso can't afford because ayaw lang maglilinis. Hindi wala ako tsaga maglinis. Aso na siya. Pulgoso, please sit. Stand up. Voice activated.
Lie down. Shake my hand. Crawl. Lie down. Stand up. Do you want to eat? Stand up.
So, you can do this in one evening pag kunwari, hindi ka makatulog, gawin mo lang to. Because of the stuff that you learn from the program or mga robotics things that you learn, you can actually easily make these. So lastly, I want to show one last video on what I see, what I think is the future of the let's say future of robotics technology in the Philippines. It starts with this 9-year-old lady called named Sophia.
My mommy is pretty.
I like that. What else can it do?
Training.
Well, sometimes it can complain, like when I shake it. Stop shaking me.
That's funny. Nice. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
What did you want to show me?
I'll show you the new apps that I made.
Can I see?
This one is called Talk to Me. I type in whatever I want and then I press the button Talk to Me. And then when I press the button Talk to Me, it will say whatever you typed in.
Can I see?
Well, this is the code and this is the app. For example, I'll type in hi. Hi.
Wow. How about mommy?
No chips tonight. Mommy.
Wow. How about my mommy is pretty? Come on.
No chips tonight. Oh. My mommy is pretty.
I like that. What else can it do?
Anyway, so that is Sophia. She was able to learn how to develop apps, Android, through some of the guidance from us. She did self-learning for most of it afterwards. Yeah, again, the things that I learned while doing all these is really one is to make learning fun. Number one, and then number two, to be able to make business really is just to say yes to everything and then figure it out after. And number three, you'd be able to find your purpose later on and just let your purpose guide you. With that, everyone, thank you very much for listening. Medyo napahaba yung talk over with 10 minutes, but yeah, I'm very happy to be answering your questions if you have any.
All right, sir. Wow, that is very knowledgeable talk from Miss Sherwin Yap. And I'm sure that our participants gained a lot from you po. And new tips, advice coming from one of the greatest speakers. And thank you po for showing us where the world would be heading po, sir. And I like the idea that you always make learning fun po. And it's true po talaga na it's satisfying to make things efficiently, no? Proud ko rin po here din po dito. And kanina pa nga po sa chat box, may nag-chat po about sa human puppet. Kung nakakagawa daw po kayo ng robot na kayang pasunurin si Crash. Sabi kong gano'n.
Sino? Si Crash. O sige, kukurentehin ko siya pag pag
And then,
hindi siya pumunta sa date ninyo. Baka pwede. Susunod yun.
And as accounting student po, meron po ba kayong calculator dyan na pag nagpindot ka po, may sagot na? Charot. Joke lang po. Personally po, it is my first time to attend robotics automation webinar po, no? More on data analytics, ganun lang po. And dito pong Kaizen robotics na encounter ko po ito sa operations management and TQM subject po namin, no? Nakaka-amaze po talaga yung conceptual or yung concept po ng Kaizen. Ikaw ba, Sir John Lloyd, may share ka ba?
Hindi, kasi naalala ko yung professor ko, isa cognitive psychology. palagi niyang sinasabi the future of this world is artificial intelligence. So parang na-amaze ako, sabi ko, ganun ba talaga, artificial intelligence? Kasi napaka fast-pacing ng mundong ito. And here in the Philippines, parang iniisip natin na bakit parang ang bagal ng technological advancement. Or little did we know that nandiyan si Sir Sherwin Yap, he's already starting this kind of project na sa tingin natin na akala natin hindi kaya ng Pilipino, pero kaya pala. Oo.
Yes,
And
true yan.
reading his background, sabi ko, ang dami pala natulungan ni Sir Sherwin Yap in terms of this robotics engineering. Ang dami niya mga mine-mentor na mga young students. Particularly, nabasa ko, yung Team Agribon, siya yung mentor doon. So nakikita natin na he's also not just believing in the future of this artificial intelligence, but also to these young people na gustong ipurso ang robotics and then engineering.
Yes,
Though I'm
true
not
yan.
into engineering talaga, I think those students, if they believe that they can create whatever they can imagine. Medyo choppy yata ako.
Yeah, ayos naman.
Sir. And sir, siguro as an HR sir, I think maybe if you agree na kaya nating Pilipino na i-apply yung artificial intelligence in recruitment, kasi as an HR intern, baka pwede natin in the future ma-apply yung katulad nung sa dating app na parang pinipili niya, baka pwede yung ganun gawin natin sa recruitment. Pero syempre, titignan pa rin natin kung ito ba ay reliable o mas patok na mas okay na dito sa Philippines sa setting natin.
Just to add, yung sinasabi mo is already being done. May nagpagawa sa amin ng project na yung sa maritime, yung mga marino, sobrang daming sinasubmit na documents, and HR people would need help talaga to be able to screen all those. So, gusto na ba sa lahat ng requirements ng ito, ganyan. So, and then, i-verify using artificial intelligence kung yung document na sinubmit niyo tama ba. For example, vaccination card na, diba? So, meron ganun na system that we can filter out na yung mga kailangan mo. So, all you need to do is the human touch, which is, totoo ba tong taong to? Diba? Yung hindi makukuha ng robot yun eh. Yung mga ganun na stuff. Yeah, same thing.
Thank you, Sir Sherwin. Maybe we can entertain some questions from the participants and clarification about the topic today. But firstly, kindly react with a heart emoji if you're ready to start our open forum. Our participants, kindly react a heart emoji. Ayan. May nakikita na akong mga heart emoji. They're ready for open forum. Okay? And kindly share some of your feelings after listening to the speaker. Para naman makita natin kung na-engage naman kayo sa topic natin. Kasi engineering ito, and I'm expecting na mga students, mga participants natin ay background sa engineering or IT or robotics. Okay. Now, this is to make sure that our audience are still with us. Kindly, Ma'am Rose Jane, can you assist us to accommodate the questions of our participants?
Yes, for those who have questions, you may utilize the chat box, or kung nahihiya, pwedeng pa-direct message kami ni Sir. Then, i-address natin kay Sir. Yung mga nasa FB Live, pwede rin pong mag-comment or mag-ask ng question.
May FB Live na po?
Yes po, Sir.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
Mukhang walang question, Sir. Mukhang amazed sila sa ano nyo po, yung mga accomplishment nyo po about robotics.
Pwede daw po magtanong, sabi ni Jean Aldenita. Of course, you're asking for you to ask questions. Jean, gusto mo
Jean po.
off mute? Type na Jean.
Ayun. Sir, ito na yung tanong. Ano daw po ba ang ginagamit na software application for robotics?
Actually, marami, no? But mostly, the programming languages yung ginagamit. Marami is C, or Python, or Java, or yun yung mga pinakamadalas ginagamit for robotics.
Alright, another question po. Sige na po, wag na po kayong mahiya. Nandito po si Sir para po i-address yung mga
Ano
questions.
robot na gusto niyong gawin ko? Baka meron kayong gano'n.
I think meron na pong isa pa pong question. Ito po, according po kay Naris Amora. Sir, since ito po ay heading na din po sa future kung iisipin natin, sa tingin mo po, sir, ano yung mga trabaho near in the future na mare-replace ng mga robotics and artificial intelligence technology?
Okay, very good question. So ang mapapalit ng robotics are the hard to do, yung mga hazardous jobs, no? Hindi pwedeng tao yung pumunta, na ang tao kailangan pang mag-mask, everything, be able to do yung mga repetitive tasks like pagpako or pagkabit ng mga bagay-bagay, no? What robots cannot do is probably like yung mga fabrics. Sa sasakyan, for example, yung kaya nila gawin is yung katawan ng sasakyan, di ba? Body, chassis, naglagay ng engine, etc. But hindi nila kaya gawin yung fabric ng upuan, di ba? So it will be, ang nakikita kong future is not robots lang. It's a combination of robots and people. So the next question is artificial intelligence technology. Replace the artificial intelligence. So the thing about artificial intelligence is that it can really replace a lot of folks. So ang hindi niya mare-replace is siguro the people who know how to make the softwares that do the artificial intelligence. What programming language should you use for the rocket launcher, Arduino, Python, and OpenCV rocket launcher? It is a microcomputer called Jetson Nano, and it uses the language Python. You should look at you should look at Jetson Nano. It's NVIDIA. It's a very ang main companies na on artificial intelligence, I think, are Google, si Amazon, NVIDIA, and maybe si Elon Musk na Tesla. So those are the people that we really soar in terms of artificial intelligence. So you have to follow them.
May questions pa po?
Meron.
Sir, what are the pros and cons of AI or artificial intelligence, sir?
Pros and cons. Ang pros is that it will make things easier for everyone. For in your life, you'll be able to automate a lot of things. But then, anong gagawin ng tao pag later on napapagawa niyo na lahat, naiuutos niyo na lahat sa robot? So, yun yung con. Mabobore kayong lahat.
So my question din ako, sir. Para ma-inspire yung mga young people natin to pursue engineering, sir. So how do you inspire them to pursue this robotics and engineering stuff in their future career, sir? Lalo na kung pag-uusapan natin bilang Pilipino. Ano ba yung nakikita mo, sir, in the future in terms of this your initiatives and projects?
Okay, so companies like Dyson, alam niyo ba yung Dyson, yung vacuum na mamahalin? So they're the most innovative company. They're now opening up shop dito sa Philippines for development projects. So we want to target that kinds of market because alam nila, sinasabi lang nila na magaling yung Filipino, but of course, that's true. But of course, marami ding benefits na to be working here, to send work here. Dahil of course, very competitive yung rates natin. Nakita niyo naman kanina sa restaurant. Maganda yung policies natin with regards to business process outsourcing sa Philippines. Very near tayo sa China kasi and close, well, with this government, very close tayo with China to be able to get all the parts na kailangan natin. Chinese naman, mahirap din sa English. Tayo, galing natin. So to be an engineer in the next few years would be very good for us because you'll be able to, as long as ma-develop natin yung skills natin sa technology, we're able to get the jobs of the world. I-assign nila. Dahil nga, ang positive thing about this pandemic is really everybody now learned na pwedeng online na lahat. And then, kung online na lahat, bakit ko babayaran yung nandyan sa Silicon Valley, yung nandyan sa Japan, ang mahal-mahal niyan? Outsource ka na lang sa Pinas. Kaya naman nila eh. Yun. So yun yung tinatrabaho namin ngayon. It's really to be able to say na kaya ng Pilipino. Yun yung gusto natin gawin.
Sir, question po. Could robots ever be smarter than humans since human lang din naman po yung gumawa ng robots?
They're a lot faster. I don't know about smarter, no? Pero pag ipapa-add, ito simple na lang, magpapa-add kita ng 1,300 plus nito ganyan. Mas mauuna yung robot sa'yo definitely. So I don't know what you mean by what smarter means, but they are going to be a lot faster than us. Saka mas mataas din yung ganyan. There are things that robots can do a lot faster, and there are things that people can do like creative stuff which the robots cannot. Siguro, ano lang yan. We have to live with each other siguro.
Okay po. Thank you po, sir. I think wala na pong questions. So, let's
Pero
have
before
a quick...
before we I like to read the comment of Ma'am Angel Medina. Sabi niya, we have lots of Filipino talents who need the right opportunities to realize their potential and goals. As he said, I feel hopeful. Napakaganda ng future of robotics here in the Philippines. And yun, I hope na in the future talaga, sir, isa ka sa mga, nakikita namin ikaw yung isa sa mga nagiging pioneer ng mga robotics development dito sa ating bansa.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am Rose Jing?
Okay po, thank you po ulit, sir. So, let's have a quick commercial break po muna. So, this Leading with Innovation, a Futuristic Perspective with Robotics and Automation webinar is brought to you by WISAP Internship Program.
Okay, thank you. I hope that we accommodate all of your questions. And Sir Sherwin, yeah, thank you for accommodating all these questions and answering them. And now we will now proceed to the presentation of the certificate. A certificate. May we call Miss Kyle Chloe Francisco, new head of employee development. Miss Kyle.
So, as we present the Certificate of Appreciation, this certificate is proudly presented to Mr. Sherwin Yap for sharing their valuable knowledge as a resource speaker for our seminar entitled Leading with Innovation, a Futuristic Perspective with Robotics and Automation, held on the 12th of November. And of course, for our participants, we would like to present this certificate of participation for this active and invaluable participation during the conduct of Leading with Innovation, a Futuristic Perspective with Robotics and Automation, held on 12th day of November. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Kyle, and once again, Mr. Sherwin, thank you for allowing us to listen to your wonderful topic about the robotics engineering, leading with innovation. And now we will now have an idea kung ano yung magiging future in the Philippines, and also the right opportunities para sa mga talents na magagamit ng mga Filipino. And sir, before we end, may I ask Sir Yap if you have anything to promote, sir?
Promote. Thank you for that.
Nang-mute po kayo, sir.
Sorry to pala. Thank you for the appreciation and really appreciate you guys listening, and still staying pala, still have 96 people. I don't have anything to promote except that I want you guys to maybe challenge the schools, challenge your education system natin to be able to cater to the future. Future-proof natin yung mga bata natin to be able to catch up with the world and be able to really be a technology powerhouse because kaya natin eh. It really looks like kaya natin. We just need to focus on it. Thank you.
Once again,
Thank
thank
you,
you po, sir. And yun po, maraming thank you po talaga.
Yeah, thank you.
For the announcement of claiming as e-certificate to all the participants, please answer the evaluation form as this will be the basis for us to know who are the recipients of e-certificate. Follow the guidelines of claiming it. So the evaluation form will be posted on the Facebook page of Philippine Workshops and it will be also sent here in the chat box. So you may see it now.
And reminder, no answers from evaluation form, no certificate. Reminder, no answers from evaluation form, no certificate. And I think it's time. Every event or webinar must come to an end. For the closing remarks, may we call Ms. Angelica Gulan, the former head of the Employee Development of HR Department. Ma'am Angelica?
So, yes, thank you, Sir Lloyd. So, good afternoon to everyone. Allow me to give my deepest gratitude to Mr. Sherwin Yap for accepting our invitation to be our resource speaker. Thank you, Mr. Yap, for giving us valuable knowledge. It was an honor for us to listen to your wonderful talk. To our country manager, Mr. TJ Yuson, for guiding us throughout this webinar. Thank you. And of course, to all of our audience for giving your time for listening in today's webinar. Thank you also. Indeed, the power of science and technology is really amazing. Plus, your passion and creativity and creating things will put you in a position that you really love doing. Inventing things that could give an advantage to our lives is really important. These inventions are the one that we need, especially those things that could help us in our current situation. Don't be afraid to start from scratch. Remember, it is always the stepping stone in achieving your dreams. I hope that after this webinar, our participants will be motivated and inspired to start their own career in creating and inventing robots and other inventions that will be helpful in the near future. Once again, thank you for participating in our webinar entitled Leading with Innovation, a Futuristic Perspective with Robotics and Automation. May I call the host, Ms. Rose Jane and Sir John Lloyd, to continue the program.
Thank you, Ms. Angelica Gulan, for your closing remarks. So thank you to all participants and thank you to our guest speaker. Wedding Suppliers Association of the Philippines Incorporated has a different branch. Accounting Portal PH, Mobile Palengke, Philippine Virtual Expo, the Real Estate Directory, Philippine Mall Directory, Alabang Real Estate Directory, Philippine Hotels Directory, MedResults Medical Services, Pa-Home Service PH, Tulong ni Juan Foundation, and last but not the least, Online Pasalubong.
Another insightful and informative webinar was done today with the help of our guest speaker, Mr. Sherwin Yap. We hope that all the learnings and takeaways you've gained today will be a great help for you.
Again, thank you everyone for joining us. This has been Rose Jane E. Matampale.
And I'm John Lloyd, your host. Thank you, everyone, and see you on our next webinar.
So we are requesting everyone to open their camera for the auto off. So mag-picture po tayo kasama po si Sir Yap. Kain po muna po ng screen para po makapag-photo off po.